Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Film Valor. This is Adam.
And Jamison.
And tonight we're doing a little review of the trailer of what we saw to Avengers Endgame.
Yes, and a sort of predictions video of sorts of what we think is to come in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen? So pretty much there's been a little sneak peek trailer
Yep.
of what's going to happen. So far we saw Tony Stark, Captain America, we saw Thanos, and they seem pretty pretty down. They realize they lost, a good amount of their strength, and I guess how they're going to come back in this next one.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things about their promotional stuff they've been doing is they always put Stark on the ship with no presumable exit. I mean, there was no way that he could get off of that ship based on those promotional, really the first couple trailers actually. Then in the last one they had him walking with the rest of the team, in the quantum, what they're now calling those quantum suits, because they seem to be confirmed that they are related to Ant-Man going into the quantum realm. So now we know that Stark makes it, so that's kind of a spoiler. It's kind of a big one because of the way they were first structuring those, those things. Of course he would. I mean, you can't fight it without Tony Stark, and he's the one that has to do everything, at least in the beginning, based on what Doctor Strange said. Right. Maybe his purpose is just to get the rest of the team back together so that they do something. But that's a pretty big deal, So we have, part of our predictions is not only.
No, Iron Man is definitely Tony Stark is definitely gonna step up his game,
Yeah.
Because one thing that I realized in this newest trailer is they mentioned like failure.
Yeah.
And I was never a big Iron Man fan or Tony Stark, but based on his personality and who he is, he's not a guy who fails.
Yeah.
He doesn't like failure. He doesn't know how to. He always finds a way. And I think also because he lost his he lost Spider-Man, who was a big part of his life, because maybe he saw a little bit of himself in him.
Yeah.
And so, now there is a need. There is that, that instinct.
Personal reason.
Yeah, that personal reason that, Tony Stark has, not gone through yet in his life, because he's been what would you call him? He's
I guess sort of the top dog, so to speak.
Yeah, top dog. He's the lone wolf or whatever.
Yeah, he's always sort of done it on his own terms,
right?
And not really cared about anyone else, except for maybe Pepper Potts,
right? But naturally, she's a woman, so he has to have a love interest. But I think maybe Spider-Man was almost like
a son
to him.
Yeah,
and so I think now he has this new aspect on life, and where he could really fully apply himself.
Yeah, and that's, I think that
because it looks like it's going to be up to Iron Man.
Yeah, and I like at the end of this new promotional spot, they even go as far as having sort of a square off. They sort of show Captain America, Tony Stark, and somebody with a cape.
It was a shadowy figure.
Someone with
or
a
maybe
cape
they're
was
asking
on the right.
someone for help.
Yeah, it was all the way on the right side, and that was, so obviously that's going to be happening.
Right. I'm sure somebody's going to, just like zoom in and like, look at that one clip and just try to figure out who it was that...
zoom in,
maybe the mystery guy.
It could have very well been somebody that we all know. That
it
we
possibly...
have no idea about. Like, that we just didn't notice.
Watch it's Loki.
Yeah.
He just came back here for some reason.
Well, there's a lot of jokes about that too.
Yeah,
what was I going to say? I think part of the predictions is, everybody wants to know who's going to die in this one, because that's a big deal.
Right, or who's
I'd love
coming
to not see
back?
Iron Man die.
Well, who's coming back, possibly?
Right, and who's coming back, which I think we have to assume is everybody. And by the way, let's talk about they're making another Spider-Man movie, and we already know what it's about. In fact, we've seen a trailer for it. So, does that take place after Infinity War? We don't really know. It's
well,
Spider-Man
how far
does
the continuity go? Because
I
it's
think
really hard. It's gonna be kind of hard to, unless we don't like the Endgame, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's not what we think it is.
Endgame could be a bad movie. Imagine that.
Because what did Doctor Strange say? There's about
14 million
possibilities, and I guess we're just getting one. So
we're just getting one, and it could be a bad.
It doesn't matter which one we get at this point.
It's true.
So
I mean, so that's a good point. I mean, yeah. So there's all those things, like we know a couple people's contracts are up. So we know that Captain America's in danger. We know that Iron Man's in danger. I don't know. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. without Iron Man would be, it's just so crazy to think, like, what are they going to recast Iron Man?
Well, they've done it with a lot of big,
with everything.
With,
those initial
heroes.
people, they haven't, though. They've never recasted Captain America.
No, because it's something too new. I mean, and I think they could rely on CGI for a good amount of it.
Yeah, so, or maybe they're going to go the route of trying to have,
like they did in the X-Men. They just make them younger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they could try to go the route of having, other characters, maybe be in play or something like that. But, everybody wants to see Iron Man. Everybody wants to see Captain America. Everybody wants to see those people. So, it's going to be interesting. No, and they've all but decimated the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we don't know what's going on there. As well.
Right, no, I mean, if it is based on that continuity, I mean, they're gonna have to bring them back, or maybe they'll just move on with different characters.
Yeah,
I mean, it's either or. I mean, I don't see much to really market to people unless you move on or you keep on. You try to make one or two films. After that, I don't see it really going that much farther.
I know it's crazy to think, like, what are they? They're not going to be able to. I mean, because
you can't do time travel. You can't time travel all the time.
Right, and can you really top a movie like this?
Yeah.
That's how many years in the making now? 15 years in the making.
Just about.
I mean, that's insane. Think about the number of movies that link to this movie.
Right. No, I think they're just going to get caught in that.
Just in the Avengers element alone, what is there? 4 movies, 3 movies?
Who knows? But they could go to the comics, and if they go to the comics, and therefore they have a somewhat a justified reason.
Think about it this way, right? Avengers 2, Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame are just 5 movies that are related to each other, and that's not even counting anybody's origin stories. That's an insane amount of movies. Think about that. How many hours they are, too? Like, if you really wanted to watch this. Imagine if you were like, hey, son, you want to check out the Marvel Universe with me? Then you got to catch up on 49 hours of content.
Just about that. You might as well just read the comics at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty insane. So that's another.
You should read the comics.
Yeah.
Read the comics first.
And there's some great people on YouTube that you showed me that do some great, comic book summaries, I guess you'd say, right? Or they sort of summarize the plot lines for you, so you can kind of stay,
Yeah, no, and sometimes you need that because they're not always available anymore,
Yeah.
Comic book stores are not, they're not everywhere.
Yeah.
You could find them online, I'm sure, but part of the whole thing is having it in your hand. Tactical, tactile.
And that gets expensive.
It does nowadays. It does.
It is kind of expensive
because all the stories that we're really watching now are old stories.
Yeah, right. Which is amazing.
At least 20 years old. I mean,
and they have so much more content to mine too. That's the other amazing thing. I mean, this is really just one incident.
Yeah, this is just one
Thanos
fraction.
is really just one person.
Yeah, and this is just one aspect of his encounters.
Right.
With the Avengers.
That's why it would be shocking about Iron Man, because I think they have so much more they can do with Iron Man. And I thought Iron Man 2 and 3 would left a lot to be desired. I mean, Iron Man 1 was really a good movie.
I agree. But that's,
Iron Man was only good once they started coming with Iron Man 1 was fantastic. And then when Iron Man became part of the Avengers, then he got the just due again. Because the other 2 movies were like, they weren't. They were cool, but they weren't. They weren't as. The emotional tie to Tony Stark wasn't there anymore. You didn't care about him as much.
So do you think in Endgame he's gonna?
I think there's a good chance he could die.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think they're going to have to progress the story, and if the story progresses to the point where you bring everybody back, I think it's safe to assume that anybody that's alive right now could be somebody that's dying, because that's a good twist when you think about it. It's a reversal. Anybody who's alive right now, I think is fair game to die.
So you think he's just gonna sacrifice himself and try to?
Because I think Doctor Strange said that he had a purpose, and actually, when you think about it, every time that they've had a major conflict,
I think that's one thing we haven't really touched about is about Doctor Strange, because he probably gave us more information than anybody else about the end.
It's true. He's the only person that knows what it is,
but it's very little.
And we don't know anything else except for the fact that Tony Stark has to initiate.
He has a very important purpose.
Yeah, so therefore he probably does sacrifice himself.
Right, or either that, or he starts something in motion. Or maybe he builds. Maybe it's the whole quantum thing. Maybe he just builds a technology. Maybe they're supposed to go in, but he's not supposed to go out.
Right.
In some way, or he makes a pivotal. Contribution to it, and I think that's where Doctor Strange probably meant, because based on the trailers it's looking like it's up to Iron Man, and I don't think it's really I don't expect a new character, hero really, as much as a villain.
It's an interesting thing as well, is like in terms of new characters, I mean, we know we have Captain Marvel now, but now is there anybody that we don't know about that they're going to bring?
Right.
Because
and I think it's fair game to bring either a hero or a villain.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
So that's it's very fair game in that case, because then the scales have been altered.
Yeah, right. We don't know then what game we're playing, and that makes it more exciting. So. Yeah, I think it's also possible that there can be an introduction of a character or two. Right.
It would be cool if there was what is it, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing coming out.
Because there's got to be someone else in the universe who's like, screw this Thanos guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting tired of this guy. It's my turn. Yeah. Yeah,
and then it's like, sense.
Oh, well, hey guys, can I join the team?
Yeah.
Just for a brief second. I'll kill you later.
And where's Deadpool? Does Deadpool come into play with any of this?
Maybe he saves the whole deal. Maybe he just comes in. He's like,
because we don't. I mean, Deadpool.
Well, wait, they're all dead, right?
Well, we don't know if Deadpool's dead.
No, but he has a thing with Mr. Steph. So maybe he's like, hey, just let them go. Just let them go.
He's such a great character. I never understood why he was not
no, because in the comics it was always Deadpool and Thanos who had this one thing for Mr. Steph.
Oh yeah.
But Mr. Steph always preferred Deadpool in a sense, and so maybe he sweet talks her, maybe a couple chimichangas here and there, and then she's like. Yeah,
I remember you telling me about that storyline. It sounded hysterical.
It is good. You should check it out. But maybe she's like, I could have a little fun with this.
Yeah, we don't know if Deadpool's a part of it. I think we need to keep...
if he was, I think that's how it should go, but it's not. Probably not.
It would be cool if he was. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the... there's so many... There's not only the comic book realm, but there's also the business end of what Marvel's doing, and I'm not that abreast of what's going on with all that. I don't know exactly why Deadpool has or has not worked into anything yet. Maybe it's because they can't for some reason, but I don't think so. He's a Marvel character. They have clearance to do that.
Yeah.
And probably just not like look
maybe
at the
just
Guardians
bridging
of the
the rate. His humor is a little.
Maybe it's tricky, but not really, because even Guardians of the Galaxy is so wacky when you think.
Yeah, but they're nothing like Deadpool. Deadpool is really dry.
Could you not picture how cool it would be to have Captain America, Iron Man, and Deadpool interacting with each other?
Oh yeah, Iron Man would just kill Deadpool, and everybody in the back would be laughing because they know they can't kill Deadpool.
I mean, it would be really funny. I mean, maybe that's why he's tricky, is because you don't know how to handle his humor.
Yeah, but I think this new Endgame movie is gonna be good.
I'm
really anticipating either a new, pretty much. I would hope a new villain. But that's what I'm just saying. But also, I think it's really going to come down to Tony Stark and
the death of a character.
And the death of the character.
I think all those things are safe bets.
I think that, and to tell you the truth, I would be happy if this was, if it was his last, film or whatever, or putting down Iron Man. I think it would be a good person to,
I'll be honest with you, too. I'd like to make another prediction. I think it could be safe to say that the ending of this movie might also be a partial cliffhanger for whatever their phase 3 or 4 is now. I have a feeling that if they intend to keep this going as long as they seem like they are trying to, and as successful as they have been, and because of how bold and insane Infinity War was and how much attention and noise they're making, it would not shock me if they ended this movie not on a cliffhanger of the Thanos thing. I think they're going to resolve the Thanos thing.
Yeah.
But I think they could, and very much could, and now that I think about it more and more so, leave us in a cliffhanger of another crisis. And that could be, let's say Iron Man's dead, Captain America's dead, but you have a new team of people and other things happening. I would not be surprised if they left us on a cliffhanger of some other thing coming in the future.
Just blend it all.
Right.
Like
some other conflict.
Like
let's say there's
they're going through the tiers of the the villains.
Yeah.
Or, just
we're not at the new
planetary, galactic, cosmos.
Like 7 years, but let's say 3-4 years from now, they know they're going to make the next Infinity War Endgame, and we're going to see only a glimpse of what was Thanos 5 years ago.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So that would make sense because they keep trying to build around what they're calling these. Marvel phases, Marvel phase 1, 2, 3, etc. So that would be my final prediction, is that I think they're going to leave us on a cliffhanger, not about Thanos, but about what's happening down the line.
In the universe.
Right.
I agree. So we're really looking forward to this next movie. When is it coming out again?
It comes out April 26th.
There we go. And
Make sure you get your tickets because there's all these issues with people trying to purchase tickets and it hasn't been working for them. Did you know about this?
Oh, no. Yeah,
really? They crashed like AMC's site and all these other websites.
Wow.
Yeah, and they started putting people into ticket queues. So you couldn't buy tickets except for when your time came, like 2 hours later, an hour later, or 20 minutes later.
Wow. All right, so make sure you get your tickets at the right time. We're definitely going to be checking it out. We think it looks good.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later. This has been Adam.
And Jamison.
So take care.